Hey, Supernatural fans. A little strange video today. I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I normally don't talk about because I forget stuff. So I'm sitting in my driveway with hero number one, Francis. And some of the things, first off, all the interior's done. Okay, so I'll kind of show you this. I'm recording this one on my phone instead of actually my little camcorder. But the headliner's in. We got to put the lenses on the light and stuff like that. But door panels are all done. Seats are all done. So she's gorgeous. Carpet's all in. Carpet's on the door panel. So what I'm going to talk to you about is to pay attention to this up here. On Hero 1, I didn't realize this, but when we pulled it out of the car, somebody had put a bolt down there and a nut, and it's not holding it. So we got to get new ones of those. Those have been ordered. And the other thing is the arm bases. Now I know you're going to see this part here, the pad. Yes, these look really crappy, and we have the good ones back at the shop already dyed. But what the video's about is the base. This right in here, this base, this plastic base. When these came from the factory, this was chrome plated. And obviously you can get front ones for your car aftermarket, but they don't fit your pads right. One's rounded, one's squared on the back, so it leaves a gap. And I think I mentioned that in another video. The problem is you can't get the back ones. And so you're going to have chrome ones up front, and then you're going to have ones that look like this or worse, or painted silver in the back. Now, Supernatural is basically like this. They are not nice, and sometimes they just paint them silver and stuff. My theory is when you go to this kind of car and you're spending all this money to do it right, you want everything to look really nice. So when you put something like, this is like a really nice car, and when you put something like with a crappy base on it, it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. So with that being said, I'm getting ready to take these off. They're going to get sent off, and they're going to get re-chromed. There's a few places, if you get on the internet, you can just say chrome plastic or something like that, and these shops will come up. And we're using the one in Wisconsin. I think it's called Chrome Tech. And we've done that before on the other Hero one that we built, Ella, for Super Dave. And those have been all re-chromed. And I think his price is $50 each. So you're looking at basically $200 for all four of them done. But they'll come back looking like they did out of the factory. So those of you that have cars at our shop, and you know your armrests are not good, or if you're like, leave them because that's the way they are on the show, we're going to leave them that way. If you want us to paint them, because sometimes they paint them on the show, you have to tell me what you want to do. But if you're wanting them sent off for chrome, let me know. The other thing is, let's see. So there they are on the back. Other than that, pretty good. The door locks. Okay, see these door locks here? These were an aftermarket. I think they came from China or something. And let me see if I can find them over here on this. Okay, so let me see if I can get in here. See how that, probably my camera's not focusing, but right in here, it's all busted out because the hole on this is smaller than the rod sticking up. So be careful of what you order. So we're going to put different ones on because those are all busted out. They don't screw all the way down. Just really crap. So little things to look after. The other thing is on your door panels, you want to make sure you add your buttons. And the buttons get sprayed. That's just how they are on the show. Steering wheel, actually, Mike painted this one, and he did it wrong. I just now noticed that. So I'm going to have to beat Mike. Actually, I got one at the shop. I can just swap this out. But on the show, this right here, this chrome that's coming in on the horn buttons, that is painted. That should be painted. Horn button should be chrome, but this here should be painted. So Mike's going to get the inner tube. Mike gets the inner tube a lot. Everybody wants to know about the headliner and stuff, what's used. Let me see if come here, see if I can get this on here. My camera on my phone is just, I don't know if you can see these dots and stuff on here. Sometimes this is called line dot or it's called simulated leather. And that is what is in Hero 1. You can put any headliner, sun visor on these cars that you want because all the other cars have different ones. So if you're just trying to match Hero 1, you want what is called line dot. Sometimes it's called simulated leather. So that is a little tidbit there for you. I've got to put, right now it's got a chrome hook on it. That's not right. We'll put the correct hook in. It should be painted the buckskin, and it should be a plastic instead of a metal. So, and those are probably actually the originals that came on the Caprice. So remember, Caprices, same car as the Impala. I see this, I watch a lot of, or read a lot of other posts on it, and you'll hardly ever see me pipe up on anything because I let people say and do what they want. And there's a big debate over the cars. The Caprice, I repeat, the Caprice is the exact same car as an Impala. The only difference is the Caprice was an upgrade. So it had an upgraded suspension on it. 9 times out of 10, they got factory air conditioning. And they really, almost all the time, they have the corner lights. Okay? So you got the upgraded suspension. Now, it was known, here's another thing, guys. An Impala, I repeat, an Impala is not a muscle car. I know everybody thinks it is. It's not. Your muscle cars are your Camaros, your Chevelles, your Novas. A Corvette is not a muscle car. It is a sports car. So muscle cars were, like I said, your Camaros, your Mustangs, your Chargers, your Super Bs, GTXs, all that wonderful stuff. An Impala was a family car. They're big boat cars. They were just made to haul the family around, but very comfortably, okay? Now, Supernatural, when they did their rendition of it, they kind of made it like a muscle car. So a lot of people think this is a muscle car, and it's not. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of car guys out there. People go, well, why did they do an SS, Rick? SS on the Impala was just a trim package. Believe it or not, you could get an SS with a 6-cylinder, straight 6-cylinder in it. It's just a trim package. You could order anything you wanted from the factory. Doesn't make it a muscle car just because you could get an SS package on it, okay? So these cars, not a muscle car. Not a muscle car. And I see people arguing, not really so much if it's a muscle car or not, but, oh, the Caprice is different. I want an Impala, blah, blah, blah. Guys, Supernatural uses Caprices. Caprices, you talk to Jeff Budnick. Next time you're at a show, if you're lucky enough to meet Jeff, ask him, what's the better car? What do you want to, if you have the choice, blah, blah, blah. He's going to tell you every time it's going to be the Caprice. The Caprice is the way to go. Now, the bad thing is when you go with the Caprice, you've got to find the side trim for an Impala. And it can be tricky. It can be a little expensive, but in the long run, it's worth it, okay? Now, you can do what you want to do, and there's things, people are like, well, I don't want Caprice on my title or whatever. Well, if you're talking like that, you're really an idiot, because a Caprice was worth more, okay? It was the high-end car. So it went Caprice, Impala, Bel Air, Biscayne. So you really want to have the Caprice up, if anything, on your title. But most titles, depending on your state, doesn't say if it's an Impala or if it's a Caprice or if it's a Bel Air or a Biscayne. All it'll say is Chevy 4-door. So my secret is I always look for the Caprices because nobody seems to want the Caprices, and that's so stupid. I mean, this car right here was a Caprice. Let me kind of come back out of here as I'm filming. This car was a Caprice. So what we did, we obviously put the trim, the dash trim. We changed out the wood grain on it. We changed out the door panels, which they remake. And we put the Impala side trim on it. And also the Impala trunk emblem. Other than that, guys, it's and tail lights. I gotta forgot the tail lights. These things are easy to swap out. Tail lights, finding the trim, little sometimes can be a little tricky, a little expensive, but the car is the exact same car. So you take the bottom trim off the Caprice, you weld it up, and you move it up to the Impala height, and bada bing, bada boom, you have an Impala. So, and obviously, the cars, if you're going to go show correct, you take off the emblems back here if you have an Impala, because a Caprice didn't say Impala there. Caprice had a little deal up here that said Caprice up here on the cell panel. So, with that being said, for the money, you're getting a better car. Now, I know you're going to redo the suspension and everything, but a Caprice also has the dual upper control or trailing arms. And that really helps, especially if you're going to build some power into these things. If you're just putting a small block in and cruising it and making it sound good and stuff, do you really need the dual upper control arms? No. But if you're going to put the big block in them and so forth, yeah, you definitely want that because you're going to get a lot more torque at your rear wheels. And other than that, man, they're the same car. So these are a family car. This was the family sport sedan. It is called the sport sedan, and it was for the family that the dad couldn't get a Camaro because he had wife and kids and stuff like that. So this was his answer right here. And it's a very nice car. They're big, they're heavy. I think I did a video one time, but these things, with two people in them, we weighed, and we were 100 pounds shy of 5,000 pounds, and we had no weapons in it. No weapons, no nothing. It was just the weapons box back there. So with that being said, very heavy cars, fly down the road. You know, the more horsepower and torque you give them, the better. But a fun car to drive. I mean, I've had a 67 SS Camaro. True SS, not a clone. Loved that car to death. I consider that a young man's car. I'm not a young man anymore. Would I want a 67 SS Camaro again? I wouldn't mind having one in my collection. It's just that with this is something you relax in. You stretch out, you sit in these big, nice, soft seats, and you fly down the road. So, but it's not a muscle car. And I'm not trying to take any away from the Impala because, man, this thing is a gorgeous, badass car. This thing hauls ass, this one right here. When people call these muscle cars, I just kind of go, it's not. If you're just going to be technical about stuff. So the car was actually pretty clean. It rained this morning, and like I said, I got to come up here with the trailer and grab this car this week, get it down to the shop. I'm going to start fine-tuning it, and of course we'll get it all washed, polished, and everything. We'll put the hood lip on. We're going to put the antenna on. We're going to get the new brackets in for the visors and everything that I just kind of talked about in this video, we're changing out. So, but it's the little things in these cars that really sometimes you overlook. And then you're like, oh, this isn't right and stuff. So I talk to people all the time on these cars, and they're like, well, how much would it cost to do this, this, and this? And I'm like, and I give them the big stuff like, your engine's this, your paint, your body's this, your interior's this. But then you start getting down to brass tacks, the little bitty things, and then sometimes when you get the things, they're not all that great, like the door lock knobs and stuff like that. So, and then like something else, I had to re-chrome all the shift handles because every car that we had, they were just pitted up and stuff. So I had them all taken in, and that was expensive doing. Chroming today, everything's gone up. I don't know if you guys are noticing, but the parts that go to build this car have gone up, and they're getting harder to find because the fans, this car is in such demand that people's buying all this stuff to build their supernatural cars, and they are getting very, very hard to find parts and stuff now. I mean, we're just talking like floor mats and, just the tires and wheels. The wheels, notice those are getting a little sketchy to find. So it is what it is, guys, and companies are raising them. When I tell you prices, I'm telling you what companies are telling me. And obviously, if they're selling a lot more of one product, guess what price is going to go up? That product. That's just business, and I don't have no problem with it. I'm a businessman. I'm a capitalist. I believe in making money and making the world go round, because money makes the world go round. So, well, actually, love makes the world go round. Money just greases the wheel. And for those you guys in physics and stuff, you got to have a little grease. If you don't have the grease, it ain't going to turn for very long. So, like I said, that's just the way it is. And if you're not a capitalist and stuff, I don't care. I'm just telling you I am. So, there she is. This car is so awesome, dirty. I can't wait to get it polished up. I can't wait to get it fine-tuned and everything. We're going to have to change out some valve cover gaskets on it. We had some rubber ones on there, and not really liking those at all. So I think I'm going to go back with cork. And yeah, she's bad. And this thing wants to run and run hard. And I just love it. So Kevin's a very lucky man. I'm going to leave a trivia question out here. Why is this car named Francis? So I'm going to see who answers that one on this car. Why is this car named Francis? And who can figure it out? And believe it or not, it has a little bit of a supernatural reference to it and stuff. So it's kind of very, very cool. And it took me a while to figure it out. And because I was like, oh, it was his mom's name, blah, 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 And then I really sat down one night and I just really thought about it and I figured it out. So it's very cool. And Sue else can figure it out. I'm not a very smart man, so you all figure it out. But it took me a while. I'm pretty slow. I'm an old country boy, so pretty slow on it. And then there we go, guys. So I'm going to say goodbye. And I just wanted to talk about those little things, like on the door panels and stuff like that. So when you're trying to get your cars put right, those are little things that sometimes you can overlook. Also, the windshield wipers. These are pretty easy to find, and there's two different ones that the show use. So depending on what car that you want to build, you can go black, you can go with the silver metal. But there she is in her kind of, I don't know if the dirt's gonna even show up on this video because I'm doing it on my phone, and I've never done a video on my phone. But like I said, so cool, and very proud of this car. It's just, I just always have that little special place in my heart for the big blocks. So love this car. And yeah, this is my first video back. We'll go into further detail on a little bit video down the line where I was, kind of what was happening, but it's going to be a little bit before I can do that. And the reason for that is legal papers were signed and don't want to give anything away. So bear with me. I'm not trying to keep you guys in suspense or anything, but I don't want you to feel like I'm just blowing it off. So that's why I'm mentioning that. And other than that, guys, I'm going to say goodbye to you. Until my next video, take it easy. And remember to salt and burn. Bye.